Hello and welcome to the Amateur Cryptid Survival Guide. My name is Roland.
And I'm Jude Furlong, and we're your hosts for today. And today, as always, we are talking about the. Why did I say as always? We
As
don't always
always.
talk about this cryptid in particular. Today we're talking about the Fresno Nightcrawlers, and welcome to our amateur wildlife and scientific analysis podcast, where mostly we rip on really bizarre parts of the internet and paranormal science. What are they called? Pseudosciences. That's the word I was looking for. The fake ones. So, Cass, we were talking about this before, and you actually do know the Fresno Nightcrawlers, except you don't, really know them.
Here's what I know, and here's what matters to me.
Mm-hmm.
As always.
Mm-hmm.
They are non-threatening. That is the number one thing. If it's threatening, I'm out. They are cute enough that people who have made depictions of them have made them look very sweet and kind. And also they're literally just spectral pants. So I feel comfort in the fact that that's a comforting presence. There's nothing they can do to hurt me. There's nothing I can do to hurt them. We can just kind of chill. And that's really
Spectral
nice.
Pants is a great band name. Might use that one.
I know.
Now,
what do you know about the Fresno Nightcrawlers?
Oh boy, they're as I said before, not much to know about these guys, so we may end up diverting at some point. But my thing with the weird little Fresno Nightcrawlers is they've been seen 2 or 3 times, all in or around Fresno, and they've been caught on tape, which is pretty compelling. I do not hear of a lot of cryptid sightings that are caught on tape. And as you say, they're walking pants. They're these gray or white, long-legged things. I'm looking for a couple of the original videos. It's really bizarre because one is slightly more distant, and you don't quite catch it. The other is, yeah, here we go. So I'll send you the images over Discord. They won't be the full GIFs and stuff, but so this is one of them, and I'm pretty sure that one's the first one. And then later, this incident was caught on tape.
Ooh.
And you can see in the second one in higher detail. And the problem is with it being caught on tape, the more evidence you have for a cryptid, the more you start to realize it might be a little bullshit.
Yeah. Here's the thing. This is a very fun image because it's, for some reason, it's green and it's on a hill and it just kind of looks like they're playing among the trees, and that's a really peaceful scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I almost like them better after seeing this footage. At first
Which is a rarity for you. Every time I've shown you a depiction of a cryptid or possible photo evidence, you go ooh.
Well, here's the thing. Most of the time you show me pictures of monstrous beings that are scary.
Yes.
And that have eyes and teeth and unexplainable body parts. And that are just kind of, the word that I really circle back to is threatening. They look threatening. I'm threatened. Pictures of these are adorable. It literally looks like someone is, I don't remember what they're called, but the old-timey pants, the really, really, really old-timey pants?
Oh, yeah, high-waisted and all that.
Yeah, high-waisted, they balloon a little bit.
Pantaloons.
This reminds me of those. Yeah, this reminds me of what a knight would wear in the 1500s under his various other fluffy garments and robes. But then you look at the pictures that people have drawn of them, and this is typically where things get very scary with the other ones. But this is where they get even less threatening, because one of the first results I got when I looked up Fresno Nightcrawler art was a adorable little thing that someone had made that was a felted depiction of them. That was just, like, so cute. And then I also saw a drawing that someone had made of, like, a sentient pair of pants wearing, like, high heels for some reason. And it was great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking... I'm looking at one of the news articles I pulled up on them, and, like, they're showing off art of it, and, like, the most threatening these guys can really get is vaguely haunted eyes, but it is hard to make pants threatening.
Yeah. I just found an image of the Fresno Nightcrawlers wearing high-waisted pants that kind of ruffle at the top, and they have, like, the belt. And the caption is "Walk, walk, fashion, baby," and it's quite possibly my favorite image on the planet as of this moment. I love these. I love the Fresno Nightcrawlers.
Oh boy, okay.
Don't tell Mothman I said that.
So we'll talk about the first incident first, which I think is gone over in this Fresno Bee article. Paranormal investigator Victor Camacho analyzed the original surveillance footage shortly after it was captured in 2007 by a frightened Fresnan. Camacho said he was contacted after the man brought the footage from his front lawn in South Fresno to television network Univision looking for answers. The video became better known in 2010 after television show Fact or Faked Paranormal Files included it in one of their episodes. The group determined the footage to be unexplainable after trying to recreate it with puppets and a child dressed in a white sheet. So this is the thing. It's something about their loping stride and, in general, just the way they move. It makes them difficult to figure out. Like, I will say this. Despite how, like, non-creepy they are, there is something about watching the actual video that, like, unnerves me a little bit. And I think it is the way they move because, this is human in a sense, except for the part where it's just the legs. So this is the first cryptid where I like look at the footage and I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, because when you look at the footage, first of all, the footage is a little bit shaky.
Oh, extremely. This was clearly like balanced after the fact.
The moment, they actually are walking pretty fast.
Yeah, no, that's
my first time seeing the footage.
It's a fast stride.
Oh, this is like me walking across our college campus. But like the first few seconds when it's like off in the top corner of the screen, you start seeing these white pants and you're like, there's someone with a poor sense of fashion, coming to say hello. Like, this is interesting. They probably have like something wrong with their knees because like their feet are like very like, loose and wavy, and then all of a sudden there's nothing else. It's just that. It's like there was a movie trailer I saw for an animated movie where like I think this was a Pixar movie where they had like tried to bring someone back to life and they only brought back the bottom half.
Was this?
And so they just had a pair of pants that followed them everywhere.
Oh, this was Beyond or whatever, the one that just came out, right?
I don't know what it's called.
Yonder? No, Yonder is the fun
one with the elves. It's the one with the blue elves.
Tom Holland elf troll thing. Yeah. The one that everyone went crazy for over the mom. This was the thing.
Mom looks like.
Oh my god, how could you forget?
I don't think I've ever seen what the mom looks like.
Did you not watch it?
No.
Oh, okay, I was confused. Trailer, right.
I watched the trailer. I remember that specific part of the trailer. And they had a very dirty bus that they drove around in. But back to the pants. The pants are the relevant part here.
So the way they get talked about a lot is as being aliens. Like there's no real talk about them as being like a native form of life. As far as I've seen, everyone is like, well, it's gotta be aliens. Why would nature create a creature such as this on Earth? Disgusting.
So I'm looking at the Fresno Bee, and I think it's a paranormal investigator who says that they look like they could be some form of extraterrestrial insectoid, approximately 3 feet tall and resembling a praying mantis.
That is some bullshit.
They say that the other people that watch the video see pants, And, you know what? If you asked me, hey, just a quick poll, would you rather be approached on a dark Fresno night very quickly by an extraterrestrial insectoid that looked like a praying mantis, or by pants? Which do you want? Do you want big bugs in your life?
Here's the thing. I have a defense strategy for, like, when a mantis comes at me, because I've thought about this, Cass. You don't know how often I thought about, what if I was eaten by a giant mantis? Every day.
Why?
I don't know.
Why mantises?
Because they're the ones that would... Listen, I fully believe that a praying mantis would eat me if it had the chance. Really? I don't know. Mantises have horrified me from a very young age. Like, I love them. Let's not get it twisted. But I am very deeply scared of them. It went from I love all bugs to I'm scared of all bugs. But I think the mantis was the first one where I was like, I am more scared of you than anything.
You see, I had a very different experience as a child. Because I became scared of praying mantises when I learned what the cordyceps mushrooms were.
Uh-huh.
It haunted me. It absolutely haunted me.
Cordyceps are pretty scary.
My vegan babysitter showed me a video of what cordyceps were because she took cordyceps supplement. I don't know, but she showed us a video because she took cordyceps supplements every day. And apparently the first thing I said to her when it was done, with tears in my eyes, was, "That's not vegan." So that is the most impressionable memory I have of praying mantises in my youth, specifically from a fear perspective.
I mean...
But I like a good mantis.
Yeah, whenever I do think about cordyceps, I think of like, mushroom zombies and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, it would take so much fucking effort to do that to a human. So it's fine. It's fine.
God.
That's the scariest part about it is like, oh, what if it got in me? But
you
can't.
No, the fact that she showed us that and then was eating them made me very worried for her sake. But
yeah, no, traumatizing to show a child who does not have rational capacity yet.
Here's my question, because now that I'm reminiscing on what they looked like, is there any chance that the Fresno Nightcrawler is a sentient mushroom?
I had thought about this as you brought up the cordyceps, because they're puffy. So mushrooms are... It feels very broad and sweeping to say this as a person who is not a fungologist, but mushroom puffy? It's just a quality inherent to the mushroom, right? But, like, if you told me that they were some sort of form of walking mushroom, hey, we have walking trees, why not walking mushroom?
We have walking trees?
We do have walking trees.
What?
Which is another possible theory. This is like the only one where they're like a native form of life is, well, what if they're a weird offshoot of those trees in Ecuador?
Oh, the ones that look like they have the roots that are exposed so they look like they're walking.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I thought you were insinuating that for 20 and a half years of my life, I had somehow not been exposed to the rare species of tree that got up and just moved around as it pleased.
No. They look like they're walking, but they also do, because of the way their roots grow, like, essentially move. I wouldn't call it walking. It's more like, oh, they're just sort of swimming. That this is the tree equivalent of, I don't know, a doggy paddle. Yeah, walking banana plants. It's something to do with the way they grow. I always forget what. And this is like another possible theory of the Nightcrawlers, that there's some sort of walking plant creature, which I also just don't buy. I don't think there's enough... Like, I know plants are a pretty diverse thing, but I don't know about that. There's nothing particularly, like, leafy about them or anything that I would read as being flora. Mm-hmm. I think fungus is pretty plausible. Nobody talk about Nightcrawler fungus. I would love to hear more Nightcrawler fungus theory. My theory is that they are the bottom half of some other form of terrible creature that is a walking set of arms, and that they are all seeking to reunite.
Oh my god. Here's what I just realized when you said that.
Yeah.
The video of the pants walking very quickly in the night is unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think of all of the groups below torso or above torso that you'd want to see moving independently of the other.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom half isn't the worst one to get stuck with, because if I saw a pale, lifeless torso with arms and a head on like a handstand,
yeah,
moving through the night, I'd call The Exorcist.
My thing is,
done.
I don't know. Are you more scared to be kicked or punched? Because I think a kick would hurt more. But I feel like if the Fresno Nightcrawler tried to kick me, I would know what to do. But if I saw like the Fresno Night, I don't know, let's call it the Clunker, this counter creature.
No, this is a bad name. That's a bad name.
The Fresno Night.
That invokes fear.
The Fresno Night lumper. I don't know. What do you want
to... No. I would say that the top half is the crawler. The bottom half is like just the power walker. Just the mosier. Like, it's non-threatening.
They're just going out for a night jog.
Is like Nightwalker like a thing?
I was almost certain that was another name for them, the Fresno Night Walkers, but maybe I'm crazy.
Because, like, oh, no, it's White Walkers that are Game of Thrones.
Oh.
Night Walkers are a fair game.
Yeah. Fresno Night Walker is another name used for them.
Yeah. But as to your question of getting kicked or getting punched, I think the legs have more power, but the arms have more control.
Yes, this is my thing. I could, like, trip up a Fresno night jogger, but the fucking buff-ass dudes carrying themselves on their own arms, that comes at me, I won't know what to do. He'll destroy me.
Here's the thing. I don't think I could emotionally hurt these beautiful pants.
Okay, what if we have been misreading it and they actually are a walking pair of arms? What if this is the top half, just no head?
So no head?
No, you know what? They're not broad enough to be a set of arms, because a set of arms would basically be a fucking, like, what would it look like? It would look like an H, good God.
Yeah. Where are the shoulders, Jude?
You have a point.
Where are the shoulders? I mean, the Fresno Nightcrawler doesn't have a hips, but I'm not going to blame it for that.
Their hips don't lie because they don't have any.
Oh.
Do you think the Fresno Nightcrawler would be a good dancer?
I don't know. I think in the sense of, like, I would play DDR with a Fresno Nightcrawler on my team. But I don't think the Fresno Nightcrawler would be good at salsa.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, no hips. If the Fresno Nightcrawler wanted to do, like, a theatrical style of dance, a lot of that is, like, very big moves. Like, I don't think the Fresno Nightcrawler can do a Charleston. But I don't think it can support itself in a move like that. If the Fresno Nightcrawler were to try and kick over its head, I think it would fall over. But this is an interesting question. What is the range of motion of a Fresno Nightcrawler? Because they seem pretty loose.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that might be because I don't think they have knees.
Oh, do you remember the no-knee critter that we talked about? I forget what it was called.
Was that the one with, like, the lumberjacks?
Yeah.
Oh! Statistically, it had to have had a name. But you know that I'm bad at those.
Yeah. I'll do some digging. I'm looking. But my here we go. The Who gag. It had to just always walk weird because it's no knees.
Was it the thing that looked like a moose?
Yeah, sort of. Like a moose and a dog. A sad looking moose dog.
This was the one that haunted my dreams for the next 2 days. Aha. Now I remember why I don't remember its name.
Yeah.
Blocked it.
my thing with Fresno Nightcrawler being an alien is like, okay, yes, but also why? Like, do we call it an alien because it doesn't resemble any native form of life, or are we calling it an alien because, here's my thing, I somehow think that despite having fewer alien cryptids than before, that like all the ones that are still sort of popular are very much like terrestrial in nature.
Mm-hmm.
That we have the big five, as I always call them, and really it's the big four because Lord knows my gal doesn't count. But
Aww.
The top four is Bigfoot, number one, obviously. Next is Loch Ness Monster. Next is Mothman. Next is Jersey Devil. And then right after that is Flatwoods Monster. And like, she is the only big extraterrestrial cryptid I can think of besides the Greys, but the Greys are not talked about in cryptid circles, really.
Because they're just Spielberg aliens.
Right. Ufologists and cryptozoologists are not in necessarily different circles, but they're
at war.
Yeah, almost. I would call it sort of akin to something like the drama between furries and kinnies.
What? I don't know any of the words that you just said, and I don't want to hear them ever again.
I'm so sorry. Let me try and think of another one. It's sort of like the drama between Warrior Cats fans and Homestuck fans.
I don't know what those are either, Jude. I don't know what any of these are.
My point being is that they're very similar in nature, but the methods by which they operate and why they do what they do is different. And it's led to this sort of internal conflict where you can see some overlap, like the Fresno Nightcrawler, like the Flatwoods Monster, because ufology had a definite impression upon cryptozoology as a field of study. Mm-hmm. As a field of study.
Are you trying to make air quotes translate over air?
Yes. They're air quotes. They're double air quotes now. They're twice over air.
Ah. Twice quote the air quotes.
Air's square quotes. But my thing with all this is that, like, yes, the ufologists have an impression on cryptozoologists, but it still jars me every time I see someone in like the cryptid circle of the net go like, yeah, this is an alien. Because people who are sort of passive fans of cryptozoology, people like me, amateur cryptozoologists, are very much in the circle of like, yeah, anything goes as a cryptid. But I think we had gone over definitions of a cryptid before, and I'll bring up those 15 points when I can, because there were like 15, right?
There was like a mantra.
Yeah. But it was really bizarre, the stipulations upon being a cryptid.
It was like do you remember, did you ever watch Mean Girls as a child?
No, I don't think I did.
There were like the popular kids at the high school, and they were like, okay, if you want to sit with us, you have to do like these like 20 things. Like, you can never wear sweatpants, and you have to wear pink on Wednesdays, but not on any other day of the week. And, you know, you have to do this and this and this and this and this and this. And this. This sounds like someone trying to be a gatekeeper to keep out the cryptids they don't like. They're like, you have to be earthy, and you have to be sexy, and you have to be fancy. And like, I personally think, let cryptids be cryptids, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I see a squirrel running down the side of the street. It looks weird. Could be a cryptid.
Here we go. Eberhardt's classifications. And these are going to come up time and again, I'm sure. I should really just bookmark this page.
Yeah.
But this is...
I had thought by now you'd made the screenshot your home screen.
I know, right? But the way Eberhardt talks about them, and I don't know whether or not he's a prominent name in the field, but it seems like he is. But that may just be coming from people who aren't in it. Maybe like every other cryptozoologist actually hates this guy. Eberhardt, if you're listening, please come on our podcast and talk to us so we can be mean to you about your cryptid classification. One, distribution. Here are the 10 types of mystery animals under the cryptozoological umbrella. And this is important. They are mystery animals, meaning I guess their cryptids cannot be a plant. 1. Distribution anomalies. Known animals reported outside their normal range, e.g., the anomalous big cats of the UK. 2. Undescribed, unusual, or outsized variations of known species, e.g., the giant anacondas reported from Amazonia or the spotted lions of East Africa.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, if I'm walking down the street.
Yes.
And it's April.
Yep.
And I see a really big June bug. Is that a cryptid?
Under Eberhardt's classification, it might be. I would think probably not. How big are we talking?
I don't know how big June bugs are supposed to be.
I don't either, Cass. You can't throw this at me.
Okay, imagine it's the size of, I don't know, an eyeball? Eyeball size?
Oh, bud, that's a July bug.
Or, for example, if you're walking down the street and it's the middle of winter and you see a hot girl and it's not hot girl summer, is she a cryptid?
Right. I think yes. I don't know, because the way they talk about distribution anomalies, I would have to assume it's based on location and not on time.
Okay.
So, if the geese migrate north, but you're still seeing, a big goose somewhere, then maybe that's not a cryptid.
That's time.
Yeah, but it's based on... But it's based on location, because, geese are still normal to that location. It's just a different time.
That's true. I'd like to believe that hot girls are native to whatever locations I'm going to.
Don't worry, Kat. They flock.
But, so, if time isn't a factor, let's say this is my last silly example. I'm in Mexico and I see a Canada goose. Is that a cryptid?
I think that would be a cryptid, yes.
Okay.
Yes, because you have to remember that, the okapi was a cryptid, and this is us. This is, Europeans being disbelieving of, any form of native culture, knowing animals and having some kind of, belief and knowledge about these creatures. So they hear about the okapi or the giraffe, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, that's not real. And then they see it, 5 months later, and they're like, oh... Well, we're not apologizing.
I would argue that's not a cryptid, that's just a bunch of people being fools.
Right. But that's one of my things, is that, cryptozoology is to a degree rooted in those studies of, mythic animals that probably weren't really mythic. It's just, various indigenous peoples had some kind of folklore or stories or religion around these creatures that in some way, any form of colonizer would be like, oh my god, they're such strange creatures that mustn't exist. We ought to put it to study. And I think it is rooted in that. I would say it's very distant from that now. I don't know if I could call cryptozoology a colonial study, though I think issues of people being the Wendigo is a cryptid, oh, you're...
No.
Yeah. Every time I hear about some form of let's see, there's the Wendigo was a big one, the Skinwalker, which keeps getting grouped in with the Wendigo. They're not the same. But this happens a lot, is that, I would by and large like to think it's not a very colonialist thing, but it is rooted in those, and there's a mythologizing aspect to it. But back to Eberhardt's classifications, because this is what I would say. Eberhardt takes a very, practical approach to cryptozoology, and definitely views them for the most part, in they're real, and they're more like normal animals than we think they are. So, phantom cats are a more believable thing than, say, the Flatwoods Monster. But, like, these don't exclude Bigfoot, because there's 3 survivals of recently extinct species, like the Tasmanian tiger, or the Steller's sea cow, all of which are occasionally claimed to have survived to the present. 4 survivals of species known only from the fossil record into modern times. The Mokele Mbimbe of Central Africa, sometimes described as a living dinosaur. Lingerlings, or survivals of species known from the fossil record much later into historical times than currently thought, e.g. the woolly mammoth, because, like, there's, like, oh, the woolly mammoth didn't survive into modern times, but it's a cryptid because what if it survived, like, cryptozoological instances of the woolly mammoth may be a thing. Like, where like herds of mammoth may have survived into, like, 10,000 BCE.
That's cool.
6. Animals not known from the fossil record, but related to known species, e.g. the Andean wolf or the striped manta ray, reported by William Beebe in the 1930s.
Wait,
7.
Striped manta rays are a cryptid?
Yes.
What?
I don't know. Are there striped manta rays for real?
I think so.
No, I wouldn't. I don't know about it.
I know that there are spotted manta rays.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there are manta rays that have, like, the lightning stripes on them.
Ah. Oh boy, there's a whole black and white and weird all over solving the mystery of the striped manta. We are getting very far off from the Fresno Nightcrawlers. Okay.
Yeah.
8. Mythical animals with a zoological basis. The griffin, partly inspired by dinosaur fossils of Central Asia. 9.
Like the jackalope.
Yeah. Well, not quite, because that's another category. 9.
Oh?
Seemingly paranormal or supernatural entities with some animal-like characteristics, e.g. Mothman, black dogs, vampires, or some fairies from folklore. 10. Known hoaxes or probable misidentifications, e.g. the jackalope, or the Fiji mermaid. These are cryptids. So I think the way Eberhardt is looking at cryptids is in a sense of, like, we view it as a cultural study, not necessarily an actual zoological one, which is generally the approach I would take. But also, what weirds me out is what he excludes. And I think this is pretty telling. 1, insignificance. Cryptids must be big, weird, dangerous, or significant to humans in some way.
That's sad.
Yeah, the small ones get fucked over, I guess.
That's so sad.
2,
this is bullying.
Lack of controversy. Someone needs to observe a mystery animal and someone else needs to discredit the sighting. Cryptozoologists function as interventionists between witnesses and skeptical scientists. This is a very weird way to position cryptozoologists, where they're like the couple's therapist between naive people and scientists who are like, no, that's bullshit. 3, erratics. The out-of-place alligator that turns up in an odd spot, undoubtedly through human agency, is not a zoological mystery. If someone discovers a new species of alligator that lives only in sewers, that is a different matter.
What about the big cats of the UK?
See, but that's not necessarily like an individual erratic. That's like a widely reported thing that continues to happen. This isn't
what if they just live there?
This isn't like, oh, one tiger went north for the winter. This is like, no, there's a bunch of them that are happening in weird places at weird times all the time. So there's like a trend to it. 4, bizarre humans, e.g. zombies, but vampires count. This is important. Zombies don't, vampires do.
What?
5, angels or demons. The paranormal or supernatural is admitted only if it has an animal shape, a werewolf sighting, which might involve a real dog or wolf, or a mystery canid. And aliens. Unless such extraterrestrials arrived a long time ago and thus classify as residents, extraterrestrials have to have their green cards to be cryptids.
Did Eberhardt have an immigration system for aliens set up?
I don't know.
Here's my question. I've forgotten what my question is, but I'm going to try and remember it. Did we talk about the fact that there's a chance... there it is. The Fresno Nightcrawlers are angels or demons or ghosts.
Okay, this is sort of... When you put it like that...
No, because you know what they say? They say the devil does not come to you as your worst fear. Devil comes to you as everything you've ever wanted. And a sassy pair of pants walking through a parking lot is pretty appealing.
Cass!
No, this picture that you sent me of them just having a nice stroll in the woods. That's so nice. Who wouldn't want that?
Cass, I think, to me, do you know this, like, cartoon theory that everyone brings up for every cartoon of, like, it was all just a dream, the character was comatose the whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever that happens, the way I view it is that, like, it's pointless because it's an unfalsifiable. It means there's no evidence you can put forth for it that discredits it, really.
Well, here's another question. Is there a chance? Because all that I know about the person who got the video was that they were scared of what they saw.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a chance there was, like, some weird angel creature, wandering around with, like, a frappuccino, just, like, strutting through the parking lot, and this poor Fresnan, as they call themselves, tried to catch it on tape, but only got the bottom half because of weird angel magic.
So we're only seeing the pants.
Half.
The pants of Michael when he's out for his local Starbucks.
For his frap.
He was doing some late night angeling around Fresno, and Lord knows California needs saving.
The divine sword of God just wanted a frappuccino. And the paparazzi tried to get him.
I think this is where Eberhardt and I agree. I don't particularly like being exclusionary when it comes to cryptozoology, but I think I agree with the stance of, like, you have to eliminate these sort of more religious and mystical side of things, because otherwise we'll be here all day.
That's true.
But if they're aliens, per Eberhardt, they're not cryptids. This is important. The ufologists get to have this one. The cryptozoologists don't. I disagree. First of all, you're not just going to move to Fresno in 2007. You're going to be there for a while. Nobody moves to Fresno.
People end up there.
Yeah. Yeah. But you'll have been established in that area by that point at some time. I'm likely to believe that, like, realistically, the Fresnos have just been here for, like, since the 80s or something, and then they ended up moving to Fresno, and they were like, well, this is as good a place as any. Let's go out on a night walk. And finally the paparazzi caught up to them or something like that.
Are you implying that the Fresno Nightcrawlers have Eberhardt's alien green card?
I'm implying that, yes. And you know why I think that? I think that because there are Nightcrawlers in other areas.
Oh?
Jose and the Nightcrawler alien. In 2010, a man named Jose, who has since died, allegedly recorded a pair of short, armless, two-legged creatures walking through his backyard. They moved slowly and methodically, appearing to be calm and quiet as they gracefully traversed the landscape. They seemed to be gliding across the grass.
My goodness.
All right, now I'm gonna.
Oh, and then there's one in the national park system too.
Yeah, the Yosemite Nightcrawler. So this is my thing. They're everywhere.
Can I share with you what disturbs me about this particular section of the article that I think we're both looking at the same time?
What?
The sentence, similar in physical structure to the Fresno alien, these creatures looked as if they were wearing loose, skin-like clothing.
Do they mean that the clothing is functioning as skin for the creature? Like, do they mean that it's clothing like skin? Or do they mean that the clothing looks like skin? Because I would disagree.
I think they might be saying both. And both are bad. But here's my unfortunate question for you. We've talked about if they're aliens. We've talked about if they're mushrooms. We've talked about if they're the devil. What if they're a prank? What if they're a pair of pajama pants that someone has on a fishing lure? Or on wires, or on strings, or on a drone?
Well, yeah, because Pair Breakdown did a look at this, and it took them a while to figure it out, but they did manage to, like, do it. And to me, do you remember all those, like, Vines and TikToks of people, like, pulling their sweatpants up over their shoulders?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what this is.
Yeah.
I think this is just, like, a higher budget version of that. Or, other way around, the Fresno Nightcrawlers inspired the TikTok trend, and really, TikTok's just been taking the credit. But, like, yeah, this could be done with puppets and stuff. I'm wearing sweatpants right now. I could do this. Like, it does not seem like this is a really difficult thing to pull off. And maybe the movement is just these weirdo dancers, like, you want to be aliens for a day? Hey, we've been studying ballet for 10 years. Let's put it to good use.
The only problem is they said the Fresno Nightcrawlers were 3 feet tall.
This is a thing. These are either short dancers or I don't know.
Did they cut a person in half? Is this like when you go to magic shows and there's the magician's assistant and they cut them in half?
No. Oh my
Is this what happens when those tricks go wrong? They give them a pair of white jeans and release them?
Now you've made him into a ghost. So this is the ghost of some amateur Fresno assistant magician who is so mad still. Oh my god.
You can see the rage and desire for revenge in the way they move, because they move quickly.
Oh, they move like they're going for something.
Yeah. Or for someone.
They're going to find that magician. Little do they know, as is inevitable for magicians in Fresno. The guy moved, probably. There are no magicians in Fresno, not for very long. Either the Fresno Nightcrawlers get him or they move out.
You decide to become a magician, you set up in Fresno, you do one act, it doesn't go well, and then you just, the next morning, have a letter on your doorstep that's like, you've got 48 hours, and then there's just a poor drawing of pants that look like it was drawn
there's
by...
There's just a footprint at the bottom of the page for a signature.
Here's the question. Do the Fresno Nightcrawlers have feet?
They do have feet.
I see no feet.
Well, hold on. I think...
I see not a foot.
Let me say this. I don't think they have toes. I do think they have feet.
What do they have?
It appears to me that there is some sort of, like, shaded spot at the bottom of their legs, where their legs terminate, that leads me to believe that, like, oh, there's a difference in shape there. There is some sort of foot structure. These aren't just poles.
Mm-hmm.
They do have heels or feet or something. But yeah, they're small for sure. It's a very nothing foot. It's like a little animal creature foot, like in a Beatrix Potter drawing. I don't know. I'm trying to think of things that remind me of these feet.
I'm rewatching the video. It's very grainy.
Okay, looking up Animal Crossing feet was a mistake.
Oh, why would you do that to yourself?
I don't know. I forget sometimes. I'm not a brilliant person, but they do sort of remind me of, like, a little Animal Crossing character. They're very cutesy. They have these little, like, rounded feet-ish things. Like,
do you know what they remind me of?
What do they remind you of?
There is a specific animated show that is near and dear to my heart called Phineas and Ferb. I'm sure
Ah,
you are familiar.
yes.
And there was a recurring character called the Klimpaloon that was a old-timey one-piece bathing suit that had eyes and a mouth, and it just kind of waddled around. This
I
reminds
don't
me of
remember
that.
this character.
They have a
Hold
ballad
on,
of Klimpaloon called The Ballad of Klimpaloon. How could you not remember the Klimpaloon?
here we go. Okay, I'm looking. I'm looking. Okay, this is. Yeah, no, this character has disappeared from my mind.
How?
This is probably one of the ones that I didn't watch.
The fashion.
Hmm.
The eyes. They're haunting.
Was he in the video game?
The what?
The video game for the DS.
Is
There
there
was
a...
there was a Phineas and Ferb video game for the DS,
Mmm.
which I played for many hours.
Mmm.
Tried to 100% that. I can understand why that would remind you of it. Yeah, okay. I see it. This is
There
a
is one
horrible
other
creature.
place that we have to look
Then
for
what's the one other
evidence.
place?
It's the place you hate going on the internet.
As is tradition.
As is tradition. I'm pulling it up right now. We have to dive into
Okay. This does link. I will say this for the Cryptids wiki. They're linking the Carmel area creature, so they are cross-referencing cryptids. Someone is doing something with this page. They're looking. They're thinking. The Fresno Nightcrawler, also known as the Fresno Alien, is a cryptid that has made 2 appearances so far, one in Fresno, California, and the other in Yosemite National Park. In both sightings, it's only seen in video footage. However, a man in Poland has claimed to have seen the creature. It is also said to resemble the Carmel area creature. The Carmel area creature is this creature that two old people saw, a couple, while driving in the Carmel area. This is in Ohio, and to me it reads as if you starved a Fresno Nightcrawler. Here,
What?
I will send you the image. You won't like it.
That's the saddest statement of if you give a mouse a cookie. Oh! No!
This is why there's a hypothesis that it's a deer. That was just on its hind legs.
I sent you an adorable picture of 2 little pants walking inside a fun pants, and you send me this?
Yes. It's important that you know these things, Cass.
I'm so disturbed.
They don't have a link for the Poland video, so I don't believe them. I don't know about this. I'm gonna look up Poland Fresno Nightcrawler, but I don't think I'll get anything.
I would like
than
it
the
known.
Cryptids wiki.
There is someone in the Cryptids wiki comments that agrees with me that these should be called the Fresno Night Walkers. Why are they called Nightcrawlers? The top comment
is, "They're so funky, I love them," by Ello They're Normies.
Yes.
25 days go by, I'm you Piplup. No, that's just me walking back to the Target bathroom to rewipe my ass.
I hate that. I think that the best what's it called? Clump of these is the one that starts with "Wee! They are so cute!" And then the one immediately under it, "Who needs arms with legs like these?"
There are these comments by someone role-playing as a Fresno Nightcrawler.
Called the Fresno Nightcrawler.
Yeah, and in reply to, "Wee! They are so cute! Gee, thanks." To the reply with "Who needs arms?" They would be kind of useful, considering we have to type with our feet. Very in character. And a later comment by them is, "The article didn't mention that I was real, right?" I'm glad the people on the Cryptids wiki are having fun. By Epic Yoda Gamer, "When you walkin'." That's right, Epic Yoda Gamer.
Then there's War the Bread. Fucking superb, you funky little pants.
Oh, never mind. The comments section is ruined for me. There's someone down here with a has-been hotel icon saying, "What's on the menu?" Long gap. Legs, legs. Long gap. Metaton approves.
Can I tell you something?
Go on.
When I read that, the only reference that I know that has that particular phrasing was the season 8 finale of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh,
Naomi
God.
Smalls, with her long legs, made a song called Legs. And the lyrics went, "Every day is leg day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thighs, calves all the way. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday is the one day I get on my runway. Want this chocolate milkshake? Walk it till your heart breaks. Legs, legs, what's on the menu? Legs, legs, what's on the menu? Legs, legs, what's on the menu?"
I have to assume this person is a fan of RuPaul, Has-Been Hotel, and Undertale, and only one of those things is good, Cass.
She didn't write the song.
I don't blame her for that.
Here, I'm gonna send you a picture.
I do like the captions on some of these videos, though, because they have one of the videos, and under it just says "another one" with an exclamation point. I think the more well-known cryptids, like the Fresno Nightcrawlers and Mothman, are just going to get better pages. Like, thank God the Fresno Nightcrawler gets all this love. Somebody commenting, "fucking superb, you funky little pants." Like, this is just a good... The comment section is good on this one. The Cryptids article sucks, as usual, though. I will say that.
I didn't read the article.
Media. The Fresno Nightcrawler is most known for being blah, 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 blah. That part's not important. Hoaxes. Some of the sightings are actually a pair of white pants being puppeteered, therefore a hoax. The alleyway gif of the Fresno Nightcrawler was created by a YouTuber, Captain Disillusion, by walking down the alleyway with a melon and then using digital manipulation to remove the top half of his body. His purpose to demonstrate how easily videos of cryptids can be falsified. Overall, there is some evidence, but most evidence point towards the Nightcrawlers being a hoax. Yeah, this is a good page because it puts more stock in them being a hoax, and it actually discusses various possibilities. It's just, as usual, they have the messiest citation because their sources are 4 pages listed at the bottom. One of them is another cryptids Wikia page. And then one of them is the Wikipedia for fact or faked criticism. In 2010, the JRF also published a story stating that the producers of FOF attempted to get a group to alter a paranormal video they shot in order for it to be considered for the show. The group, the Rocky Mountain Paranormal Research Society, are paranormal claims investigators who filmed a planchette of a Ouija board moving around on its own. The video was deliberately faked using a hidden string and released to the internet as a demonstration of how such tricks can be done. FOF producers who saw the video contacted the group and asked that they reshoot the video and make the pointer move more dramatically before they would make an offer to feature the video on the show. Yeah.
Shady.
So the fact or faked one, they're the people who were like, "Oh, well, the Fresno Nightcrawlers are real," because we couldn't recreate it. They just gave up, and then Para Breakdown was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? It took us 3 tries." So I'm led to believe, very sadly, that the Fresno Nightcrawlers are not real.
Mm-hmm.
But all the same, I'm gonna try my hand at some advice here. If you see a pair of pants coming at you, I think you have to throw your shirt away. I think you have to be the pants with them. I think it's some sort of elaborate mating ritual, probably.
Oh. I was not expecting that. Okay. Here's my advice.
No. I think I think the Fresno Nightcrawlers are not going to mate with you. I don't even know how they would do that. But I think it is like some dance that's important to them, akin to a mating ritual. And if you do that, you'll be life-bound with the Fresno Nightcrawler forever, and it will come kick away your enemies.
That is pretty lit. Here's my advice. If you don't want the people in your life to be scared of the Fresno Nightcrawlers, desensitize them slowly by power walking everywhere. The only thing that separates me from a Fresno Nightcrawler is the fact that I will not wear white pants and the fact that I have a torso.
Yeah, the Fresno Nightcrawlers really do not respect the rule of no white after Labor Day, huh?
Yeah, but that's my final advice.
Can we get these boys some jeans? Can we get these boys some jeans?
No, get them joggers. Let them be comfortable. Who wears jeans these days, Jude?
I do. I'm wearing sweatpants right now because, good lord. Okay. As is standard, and I think this is one we can do it with. Dateability of the Fresno Nightcrawler.
I would say 7, because they cannot hold you.
Yes, this was my thought exactly. I don't know how I could cuddle this cryptid. They must be expert spooners, though, right?
That's true. I believe that.
I would believe that they're really good dancers and really good spooners, but the problem is, do they make, listen, I don't necessarily need arms for the whole holding thing, but I do need, a top half that I can see. Yeah. There's got to be more for me to grab onto, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's me being too shallow.
Who knows?
But I will say this. They seem very sweet, and even if I weren't dating one, I would want to be its friend. These clearly make for good buds. They will just go out on night walks with you and kick away your enemies.
That's so nice.
Good for them. I would say an 8, I think.
An 8?
I think you're right. I think 7.
Okay.
I think I'm with you on this one. This is literally the first one we've ever agreed on.
We are on the same wavelength with this.
Where we both agree that it's cute, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's so bullshit. Every time, this is one where this is the important thing to me about cryptids. They are just fun to believe in. And I like this one because it's so absurd. Why not, is my argument. Why couldn't we have a walking pair of pants? Just for funsies. Everybody's gangsters till the pants start walking.
I love that. I think that's the perfect ending sentence.
We'll see you next episode with whatever cryptid that is. Thank you all for listening. This again has been Jude.
And Cass.
With the Amateur Cryptid Survival Guide.
Hey there. This is Cass Roland, one of your hosts for the Amateur Cryptid Survival Guide, the podcast you just listened to. We want to give you a huge, huge thanks for listening to this. This is our second ever episode. We're really excited to start rolling these out on a weekly basis, and we're so, so grateful for the support. Speaking of support, first of all, because our podcast is brand new to the world, it's super important that as many people listen to it as possible. So share this with your friends, your family, your estranged lovers, your college roommates, your high school pals, random people on the street, anyone and everyone you can find. But at the same time, remember, stay safe and social distance. Also, speaking of socials, we have a Twitter account. It's ACSGcast. So please, if you have cryptid suggestions, shoutouts, wild theories, or just weird comments you want to send us, as long as they're not super, super weird, please send them to us. So we will see all of you next week with our super exciting 3rd episode, where we're going to be talking about some hairy jocks that live in the southern United States. Want to find out more? Tune in next week on Amateur Cryptid Survival Guide.